Welcome to Mennie Talks podcast, talking all business, entrepreneurship, property development, finance and investment. Okay, Reese Mennie here, host of Mennie Talks. Back in the studio again today, I've got a fantastic guest with me. One of Britain's most successful young entrepreneurs. She started a business when she was 16 years of age. Now I know that a lot of young entrepreneurs that listen to our podcast and our viewers have been asking, what it's like to start a business at a young age. So what we thought we would do is get somebody in that's had the experience in that field. So Liv, thanks for coming over. I know you've flown over today sometime. So she's flown over from Marbella today to be with us. Yeah. So thanks for coming over.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, no problem at all. And you brought the weather with you, I see.
Oh yeah, my God, look outside. It's so miserable.
So, Liv, just want to talk to yourself today really about your journey, why you started in property. The podcast itself, as you know, is about entrepreneurship, property development, and a few other things that go with it. You're in the property sector yourself, so I want to talk to you about your property journey and your business. But also what I find intriguing and why I wanted to speak to yourself on my podcast, because social media right now is massive. Yeah. It's booming. And you're very heavily involved with helping entrepreneurs grow their following. So before we start, let's talk about your business that you started at 16.
Yeah, okay. So basically when I was 16, my mum had taken me along to a property education company to learn how to invest in property. Okay. She bought her first property at that point.
When you was with her?
When I was with her,
okay.
Yeah.
At that exact time?
Yeah. Okay. And we're going to flip the property. So basically we refurbed it, we added loads of value to it, but it sat in the market for 3 months and it didn't sell. Okay. So after that period when it didn't sell, I thought, this is empty. People couldn't imagine how to use the space. So I came up with the idea, although property staging exists, there was no one pretty much in the UK that was doing it at an affordable price.
And how old was you at this time?
16.
Oh, you was at 16 at this exact time?
I was still at school.
Okay.
And I thought, let's dress the property, so let's make it look like a show home, show people that what each space can be used for. Yep. We staged it and it sold within 3 days.
Oh, so that's how you got into property staging?
Yeah, that's how the idea was born. I then went networking. I was 16. I looked 16. Okay. And I was trying to convince, suited men that cushions and throws and artwork was going to make them more money on their property deal. Yeah. People were skeptical at first, but it works. It works.
And that's what you continue to do now, and that's what your business does?
Exactly, yep. Every day, 300 a year. I'm all around the UK.
And do you do it for other people, or do you own the properties and then dress them up, or do you dress them up for other people?
So we dress it up for other people. Okay. In the main. So we do people that are flipping properties, service accommodation. We've just done a hotel. So it's a complete mix of properties that we see every day.
So just explain how that would work, because obviously I work with a lot of developers. So would you go in, set it up, make it look good, and then the developer pays for that to be done, and then you take the stuff away, or does it stay with the flat?
Yeah, so there's 2 different services. Okay. There is that service where if you are selling the property, we furnish it, photograph it, the furniture stays there for 6 weeks. Okay. When the property sells, we pick it up, and then for our service apartments, we put it in, and then the client buys it all.
Buys it off.
Yeah, because they're going to keep it for years.
And the statistics of the speed of sale dressed up compared to not dressed up?
Properties sell 8% quicker. Okay. Properties that we've had experience with sell 80% quicker than those that aren't staged on the same street.
Fantastic. So some good inside information there for a lot of our listeners, and I've got a lot of people that are starting out on their property journey, always asking, how do I do this, how do I do that? So that's a fantastic piece of information there. In the first couple of minutes of opening the show.
Yeah, so, exactly.
Thanks. But just more importantly, can I strip it back to when you went to that property event with your mum? What was it like? Obviously, your mum, most 16-year-old kids, your mum comes up to you and says, "Oh, we're going to go to this event." Most are like, "No, I want to play out. I want to go down the sweet shop. I want to do this and this." So, did it take you by surprise, or was you already looking to get into that
Yeah, well, it didn't take me by surprise. My mum always encouraged me to be entrepreneurial and do what I loved.
Yeah.
So when I was 13, I actually started an eBay business.
Okay.
And imported things from China and then sold them on eBay. So I had that experience in business already.
From a very young age.
Yeah, and I went to like all our business meetings with her.
Yeah.
Used to like skip school and go away with her. So I was always in those sort of circles, meeting people, and learning how to do business. So when she invited me to go, I was like, well, absolutely. It was not even a question.
Yeah. Was it daunting going in there? Was it where was it? What kind of event was it?
So it was one in Glasgow. It was like a preview event to start with, where it's a free event. You go and you get a taste of it.
Okay.
And I guess it was quite intimidating, and I feel probably in business I was quite intimidated till I was like 18. Of what people would think, and I cut my hair short to look older, because people just at times weren't taking me seriously, and I was getting...
And you think that's because of your age?
Partially it was. I mean, I think it was more of my issue than theirs.
Yeah.
I was like projecting that that's how they were going to feel.
Yeah.
And at times it came up, but most of the time the way
what
I
you
held
think
myself,
about is what you become.
Exactly. So it's
some good information there as well, guys, just to jump in, if you feel that you're too young to do business, people will feel how you feel and they will see that. It's about being confident and understanding. Age, it's just a number. Age is just a number.
Oh yeah.
And you've learned that now, I take it.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
I never thought I'd be where I am today at 21. I'm glad that I got over that hurdle and then stopped. Projecting.
How did you
those
get
feelings.
over that hurdle?
I think once I got a little bit of success behind me, so I got my first few jobs, made my
bit
first
of confidence.
First 5k. I was like, I can do this, and actually, what I'm providing these people is amazing value. It's earning them tens of thousands of pounds. So yeah, I've got the right to be here, and my service is great.
Good. So good for you. So let's just talk about. So you was at the event. You've come out of that event. You've learnt a lot, and then obviously your mum bought that property. You dressed it up, or first of all, it didn't sell for some time. You dressed it up, then it sold. What was the next steps to start the business?
Yeah, so the next steps was I got my first client from a networking event.
Okay.
And it came to a point in school where I could stay on and get more grades to go to uni, or I could just leave school. So I just decided, look, I'm going to go all in. I'm just going to leave school and start it. And I mean, people at school called me in, like the teachers, and thought I was crazy.
Yeah, please stay.
Yeah,
we love you.
Yeah, because I had grades to do whatever I wanted, but I just knew that this was a great idea, and the feedback I was getting from people was awesome with the service, the price, everything about it. So from there, for 12 months, I just done it pretty much without a social media account. I made 30k in the first year, and the next year I took to social, posted what I was doing, and those next 12 months we hit the £1 million mark. So it was massive growth.
Just from in 2 years, it's gone from that to that.
Massive growth in a short space of time, and I think it's because we were so different. I shared my story a lot, and people wanted to work with me. And harnessing the power of that reach.
So jumping forward, because I was going to talk about social media a bit later, but where you've brought it up, would you say that it's down to social media that's made you so successful?
It's obviously mindset and many other things, but in terms of marketing and being able to reach people, social media was the game changer for me.
Do you do your social media yourself, or do you outsource it to other people? Because there's some people that have just got the knack with social media. They're good at, they've got the time to do it. Some entrepreneurs just don't have the time. What I find is you can sort of tell when somebody else is doing somebody else's social media.
Yeah, you absolutely can, and I have been down the route of paying companies to do it. They've only lasted a month because we've just stopped the amount of inquiries. People can tell it's not me. So throughout, from 16 to now, I still run all my social media accounts, and that is my main part in the business, is the marketing, being the face, and going out and meeting people with the social and everything. So I've outsourced it a couple of times and taken it back very quickly.
And do you have a team that help you do it, or is everything that you push out all your own ideas?
So I have a team that helps me edit and do things like that. With the staging, we have our stagers on the ground, which take a lot of the content. But it's all seen by my eyes before it goes live.
Fantastic. So that's the social media aspect, which we come on to a bit later. But your business, the property stages, just talk us through that. So obviously you've had some great growth. Started at 16, 2 years in, you've hit $1 million. That's fantastic. It's a great achievement. But talk us through that process of, obviously originally it was just yourself, how did you build up to get to where you was?
Yeah, so it was just me, and I was doing everything. You know, I was furnishing the properties. At times, I was carrying the furniture. Massive lessons.
Up and down the stairs to get in the flats.
To save 40 quid here and there. I've done all the mistakes. I was doing the marketing. And then at one point, we reached a stage where I just couldn't take on the work and I had to turn work down.
Yeah.
So at that point, I asked my mum to leave her business and she joined me when I was about 18.
Okay.
So now we work together every day, which is like so much fun. And it's quite unusual, like we don't really argue.
Yeah.
And I think it's great because I've got a younger perspective. She's got like a slightly older with more experience.
Great, yeah.
So that works really well. And then our team grew. To contractors, to full-time employed people. We contract in all of our vans and the people that drive those in our delivery team. So yeah, I mean, overall it was quite a blur how quickly it grew, and like we made so many mistakes along the way because like everything's growing, and if you don't really have the business experience, then working out the finances and everything was
it's
very
tough,
challenging.
and it can be daunting. I mean, just going on to that, you know, you made mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. The only people that don't make mistakes, and this is something that our listeners and our viewers should really take, is that, you know, you have to make mistakes to be able to excel and be able to move forward. If you don't make mistakes and you don't take risks, entrepreneurship is not really for yourself. So you should look at maybe a different career path. Entrepreneurs like risk taking. We're no different from anybody else.
No.
I don't think, apart from, you know, we put ourselves in the driving seat, we take responsibility, and we're going to make sure that it works. Whether we make mistakes on the way, I make mistakes every day, but the crucial thing is not to make the same mistakes. Because
Absolutely.
if you make the same mistakes, you're silly. You need to learn from what you do every day, and that's, you know, from talking to yourself for such a short period of time, I can see that you've got that drive, you've got that hunger. And that's what you have to make it in the world that we live in. We're no different.
Yeah, and I think entrepreneurship's almost been sugar-coated, the laptop lifestyle, and I'll sit by the beach with a margarita in my hand, which I do like to do as well. But yeah, I mean, for those first couple of years, 16, 18-hour days every day, weekends, forget any plans
No
with
weekends.
friends. Exactly. And now, obviously, I've got a team and outsource a lot more, but there's still those days where you're the last one in the office, you're there for 14 hours, and you don't stop till it's done.
Yeah, but you enjoy it.
Yeah, love it.
And I think the art of it is finding something that you enjoy to do, because if you don't enjoy what you're doing, it's a lifestyle, isn't it? It's not, people say to me, oh, you work long hours, but to me it's not work. It's enjoyable. It's my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Wherever I go, even my wife, on my honeymoon, I'm still doing business because it's not work, it's my lifestyle. It gives me a pleasure.
Yeah, and I think it's in you, isn't it? Because even when I take days off, which is not very often, but I do struggle to really like not check stuff and not be there. But it's because it's what you live for every day, and I can't imagine like how I'd get out of bed in the morning if I didn't have
nothing to do.
Exactly.
So just talking about your team, because it's tough to build teams. In my experience, it's tough to get the right personnel to do the right thing in your business. So how have you found that?
Team, for me, building a team has been the number one most challenging thing in the whole of my business. Because what we do is very creative as well. It's trying to find someone, a bit of a unicorn actually, that's super organised and also very creative with an eye. So we've had so many different team members and much experience from it. But yeah, certainly challenging, but I think it's finding people that are better than you at that subject is what's going to help grow. Yeah,
at certain things, and it's finding them, but it's everybody I speak to says the same. So what pointers could you give to somebody at that stage in their business?
So I think if you're ever looking for your first team member, one of the things I learned to do was anything that I was doing, I was tracking every single task that I'd done in a day, and then I would mark off that that's something that I don't need to do, I could outsource that. And then that formed my first job description. So it was a very detailed, I literally want you to be using these systems, be able to do this, and then work back from there. I think sometimes when we go for our first employee, I've been guilty of this, is hiring a new best friend.
Somebody that you get on with.
And that you can like experience all the highs and lows with. But also on that, like they're not the business owner, they don't love it as much as you.
Correct.
So at 5 o'clock,
they're gone.
Away. And you're left with the issues.
Yeah, no, that's some great advice. I mean, working backwards of the jobs that you can delegate and then passing them out is a good place to start. Moving forward, mentors. Obviously, you started working with your mum, so I take it your mum's always been a mentor to you. Do you think that helped you get on the path quicker than other people that don't have a mentor?
Absolutely. So my mum was like great mentor for me throughout my whole life.
Yeah.
She's definitely my role model and helped me in business, but I've always invested really heavily into my education as well. So I've currently got 2 mentors over the next 12 months. Okay. I invest into like 5 figures every year into my education. And I think it's so important to be with someone that's already at that next level so that you can up your game. So mentorship for me, again, has been massive. And at any point, I will never not have a mentor. I'm so always looking for someone. And it's great because you're so in your business, whereas they can come from a much higher place
and look at it completely different.
And say, look, you're doing this wrong, or I could see improvement here. So mentorship is just awesome.
How do you find your mentors?
So usually it's someone that I follow on social media.
Okay. And you just reach out to them?
I reach out to them, and it's usually someone, I'll probably follow someone for, 3 to 6 months. And I like to see them making progression in their business. So when they're experiencing real growth, at one point with the 2 mentors I'm with right now, I was like, right, I just need to work with them because I need to be at that level in the next couple of months. So that's mainly how I find them.
Do you pay them a fee?
Yeah, I pay them. Yeah. So like my most recent mentorship was $25,000.
Okay. So there's nothing wrong with people, with our viewers listening, to pay people to get knowledge. Some people I speak to and they say, oh, you pay for this, you pay for that. What you've got to realise is these people that have been there and they've done it, their time's valuable.
Oh, absolutely.
And as much as they like you, or as much as, they see that you're a good prospect, their time's valuable. So sometimes you do have to, and to some people they're that big. The money's not an issue. It's just seeing your commitment. So they're going to give you their commitment to help you, but you're going to put nothing in. So it's an exchange of commitment, not just a fee.
And the people that I work with are still running their own businesses. So they are actually living what they're teaching. So of course, I don't ever expect them to take out time out of their diary just to help me because they like me. So I'm more than happy to pay their fee. And I mean, with that mentorship, I made that money back with a new product in the space of a week. So it's like, you can't really fault it. Yeah.
It makes sense. So just talking back, obviously mentorship's massive for me. I talk about it all the time, and I wish that I jumped into having a mentor in business a lot sooner than I did, and I think it would have escalated me a lot quicker. But I do say to a lot of people, there's a lot of information on social media, and I think young entrepreneurs now, their biggest challenge, well, not a biggest challenge for anybody, is there's so much information at your disposal. What do you follow? Because I think you can be caught in having 3 or 4 different people that you listen to, and they're all telling you something different. And all of a sudden you're sitting there thinking, well, this should be easy. I should be able to listen to them. They should tell me what to do, and I should go and do it. But they're sort of not contradicting themselves, but they're giving you different information.
Yeah, I mean, one of the mentors that I work with always says, put out your best content, always provide your best value, and don't ever be afraid of, if I give all my content out, then I'm not going to have any clients, because who's going to want to work with me? But I think what mentorship does in particular, so with who I work with, they're not doing it for me. No. They're giving me probably more detailed information on how to do it. Yeah. But I think the biggest thing with mentorship is that you are the one that has to go and make it happen.
Correct.
They're holding your hand along the way, but they're not going to do it for you. Yeah. And the people that I coach as well, my clients, like some people come to me and they go, oh, well, can you do this for me? And it's like, no, you can do it for yourself. I'll be there to guide you, but if you want me to do this, that's not...
I need to be a partner in your business.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, there's that misconception that a mentor is, I'll do it for you, but actually it's, I'll hold your hand along the way.
And give you some advice.
Yeah, exactly.
Some great information. So just ripping it back, a question that's just popped to my head, I think, at a young age, 16 to 18, starting your business, you've now £1 million revenue income. you've got a team, and you're still young, so you've got older people that work for yourself. How does it feel to give direction to somebody that's older and maybe more experienced in the field? Is that a challenge?
Yeah, it certainly has been a challenge. So I've had people in my team that are sometimes, 30, 40 years older than me. I'm mainly females because of what we do. It's mainly females that apply. And yeah, there has been some tense situations that have came up when they've actually been like, I don't know who you're talking to, Missy, things like that, where you do get a bit of attitude. But I think that's when I was probably a bit younger. I think now I hold myself differently. I've learned to manage a team now, so it's all open communication, and we just don't really tolerate that type of behaviour because I am the business owner and I am so young, but I am the expert in this field.
I see that. I mean, what I took, people listening to this podcast or watching this podcast would have listened, would have took something different from that answer than what I took. What I took from that answer is that you're accountable. You took responsibility for them things going wrong because of the way you held yourself. So, and that is another key fundamental thing of going into business, is you have to be accountable. You have to, when these confrontations happen, you can't look at it that the employee or the other person is always wrong. It's about, what did I say? How did I hold myself? And Liv just said, maybe it was when I was younger, I wasn't holding myself in the right way, and you've changed that, and now you don't have that anymore. So, that's something that you should always think about, I think.
Yeah, I'm a massive believer in that life is a mirror, and so if anything ever goes wrong in a relationship, a working relationship, I always look at me and say, what did I do wrong? Correct. What could I improve on? And what is it within me that's bringing that out in them? Yeah. So yeah, I think that's a massive thing. I think we live in a blame culture as well.
Yeah, it's always everybody else's fault.
Yeah, it's never your fault. But if you're the leadership, then
that's right. Yeah, it has to be your fault. It has to be your fault. Well, look, it's been fantastic, and it's great talking about your success in your business. What I want to talk about is your social media aspect now. Obviously, you're helping people get from 6 to 7 figures through using social media, different platforms. Just explain to us how that works. I mean, social media is massive. There's so many millionaires made on social media every day now. People think it's easy. It's just like, I'll get a phone and I'll set up an account and I should be a millionaire in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. For me, everything to do with social is about consistency. So it's been on there every day or every 2 days, but being there for your audience. Yeah. And then really speaking to the person that you want to speak to. Okay. I think a lot of people can speak too vague and speak to everybody, but then you're really speaking to no one. So with what I've tried to do with my account is really speak to the pain points of my potential clients.
How do you find that, people? So you mean your clients, your ideal client?
Yes.
So you look at your ideal client, what your ideal client is, and then all of your content that you put out is for that ideal client.
Yeah, and the great thing is, with most businesses, they're born out of frustration. So with the property staging side of things, I was my ideal client who couldn't sell their property. So I knew the pain that I felt and the different issues that came up. Also with coaching people on social media and PR, again, I was in that position myself at one point and brought myself out of it with mentorship and different things. So I knew exactly what that person's going through. And I think on social, people want to think, oh my God, she's in my head. Yeah. And I get those messages a lot, that's exactly what I needed to hear today. And it's like, well, it's not an accident. I knew that. So I think, speaking to your ideal client and then also telling your story has been the game changer for me. Really sharing the hard times, the good times, because people want to see that journey. And as I mentioned earlier, when I find a mentor that I want to work with, I work with them because I've seen their journey. Yeah. I've seen that they went from 1 million to 10, and I can see that they're a real person, and that if they can do it, I can do it as well.
Correct. And the kind of people that you're mentoring yourself on social media, what kind of clients are they? If we've got people listening, how do they get in contact if they want your help?
Yeah, so I really work with 6 or 7 figure entrepreneurs who have a business brand, but they really want to take things to the next level by building a profitable personal brand. And one of the ways that we do that is obviously looking at your social media strategy, but also a PR strategy as well. Because I've had massive success with PR. I just had dinner with Boris Johnson a couple of
Yeah,
weeks ago.
I was coming on to that.
And that was all through like being featured in BBC and people. But I led with my story.
Yes.
How
did that come about?
The Boris Johnson dinner. Basically, I got an email from Downing Street to invite me to the Burn Supper, which is obviously a Scottish night.
Yep.
And I thought it was a scam. I was like, why would they want me to be there? And so did many other people at the dinner.
Yep.
So invited, went along. I was actually asked to do the toast to the Haggis, which is where you march around the room behind a haggis with a guy, pipers on, and then you do almost like a 5-minute toast, which is very, very Scottish. And I was asked to do it the night before, so it was like massive pressure.
Oh, so it was like
yeah. And
last
then
minute.
I ended up sitting next to the Prime Minister for dinner that night.
Fantastic.
So it was just a wee bit of a surreal moment.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was big achievement as well.
Yeah,
to sit there.
definitely.
And that come from social media?
Yep. It all comes from, sharing your story, being online, the press picking it up, which obviously gets you millions and millions of reach. So for example, I was featured in the UK's biggest female magazine with 3 million readers. So you can't really put a price on how many eyes are seeing your brand. Yeah,
which is great. Do you invest in property yourself?
Yeah, I do. So I actually bought my first property at 18.
Okay.
I bought it for 50,000 and then sold it 6 months later at 90. And I think it sold, that was way above anything else in that area. Mainly because of the interior design in the property.
Yeah.
So even with that, we were implementing the staging. I've bought a few others since then that I plan to sell on.
Yeah, and your ideal client for staging, not social media, is a big developer, a single landlord?
Our ideal client is a bigger developer that has, a lot of properties, but we also work with, landlords that have one property that needs sold. So it's a massive scale. Like we've just done a block of 45 in London. So we really do from 50k houses to millions and millions pounds worth of apartments.
You obviously, where you're growing as a business, you don't deal with everything as much now. You've got a team to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So fortunately, I get to do the part that I enjoy, which is the social. The marketing, speaking at events, podcasts.
Yeah.
And my mum, unfortunately, gets to do
all the other
stuff.
And how has it grown? Because one thing that you said is consistency with social media. There's a lot of people on there that start one day, and then if it hasn't worked in a week or they're not getting any engagement, forget about it.
Yeah.
It's tough, social media, because it's like a bubble, isn't it? Everything looks so great on social media, and they forget just because you're consistent on social media doesn't mean that everything in your life is what social media says it is. Entrepreneurs, and we're real people. We still have problems outside of social media, but consistency is the key. But I suppose it's explaining to somebody how to keep going through them tough times that separates.
Yeah, so...
Is that something that you train or help with on your course?
Yeah, and totally, social media is a highlight reel of someone's life.
Yeah. The good side of their life.
Yeah, exactly. We're not posting those bad days when you just want to end it all with business. But so that's one of the things I really coach on, because for me, I have done this now for 5 years, which isn't the longest time.
No, but it's consistent for 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. But if you scrolled back to my profile maybe a couple of hundred posts ago, I was probably getting 1 or 2 likes on each post. So I think people come in, they see the where you are now. But most people that have built up, hundreds of thousands of followers, even 5,000 followers, have been doing it for years and years.
Yeah.
So I guess it's getting a realistic view on where other people are, but it's something we work through, because again, it's a block that if you're not getting that instant result, you're going to give up. Yeah. You're never going to get anywhere in life. You're never going to give up.
And is it mainly just Instagram you use, or is it all channels?
So I built the whole of the property stagers all through Facebook. That was completely organic marketing, never paid for advertising. And now with my personal brand, use a lot more of Instagram, and also LinkedIn's a massive one for us as well.
So you use all platforms. And if any guests or any listeners are listening and they want help, how can they get in touch with yourself?
So on Instagram's probably the best place. Just DM me. So it's Olivia Conlon, which is Conlon.
Which we're connected anyway. So if you're following myself, by all means, just mention that you see the ad or you listen to this, and Olivia would be happy to work with yourself.
Absolutely.
What's next for yourself?
What's next? So there's talk of a TV programme around home staging, which could be exciting, but that's not all through yet. So that's something I'd love to do, is really bring it more into the public eye, because the industry is still in its infancy.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just to continue helping people build their personal brands and follow pretty much in the same footsteps that I have in my journey, and take them to that next level.
Is there many people in property staging?
It's definitely a market that's growing. So when I started, there was only a couple of people. There's now an association with a few hundred people. So it's massively growing. But still, it's a very unknown industry. So a lot of people, I say, I'm a home stager, and they don't even know what it is.
So a lot of our developers do it, but they seem to try and do it in-house.
Some of the bigger developers do it in-house. Is it more cost effective? Probably not. It's actually a really reasonable service.
I think most people think that having something in-house is cheaper or is a better value, but it doesn't necessarily work like that. I don't think.
One of the things we do is, like, we're quite an unusual company. We charge everything at cost, and then just take a fee for our team to go and do it. Whereas a lot of people add markup, but we're actually giving it to the client for cost, and we get massive discounts.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for coming on. It's been a pleasure. I think we've covered quite a bit today. And it's been a pleasure having you on. If any of our listeners want to get in touch with yourself, they know how to. Thanks for flying over today. It's been a pleasure having you on my podcast. Look forward to releasing it. Thanks for coming on.
Perfect, thank you.
Cheers, thank you.